Hi everyone, this is Angel Krause here, your instructor for EDUC 630A. I hope that you are doing well. We spent all day Friday at soccer games and I loved being outside and enjoying the fresh weather, just a little bit cooler than normal, which was fantastic. So I hope that you had a great weekend. Module 2 ended on Sunday and I've been in the course today giving feedback, reading over your responses, and I want to say just thank you to everyone who is submitting and really grappling with the ideas and the thoughts in the class. I think a couple things kind of stand out to me as I review your Module 2 assignments is that one, so many of you are understanding how important your students' health is, especially as we headed into mental and social health. This module, you were saying that the goals were really important, that it was nice to see them there, and that the research will help you in your classrooms. And then on the flip side, I'm kind of hearing, well, how do I actually incorporate this? How often do I incorporate this? And we'll talk a little bit about that today in this introduction to Module 3. But in Module 2, you guys did an excellent job. The synthesis in 2.1 was really good. For some of you guys, it may be the first synthesis that you really wrote, where you were supposed to take the concepts from 3 different resources and see how they connected. Stress, the 2.2 was really interesting as you guys talked about your own stress and programs, and I'm right there with you as a part of my doctoral program, taking courses and working full-time and being a full-time wife and mom is definitely stressful. I'm going to send out some more information on stress and kind of how you can balance that, but you guys talked about how you can work with coping skills with your students, how you will definitely look at the type of homework that you're giving, and if you're in those upper grades, how you might coordinate with other teachers if possible, so that you could balance the homework. So really, really great discussions. And then also taking a look at the different aspects of social health where you had to rank. A lot of amazing resources. So keep those resources close at hand because they may feed into your lesson plan. Everything that we're doing in the class really is going to feed into both expanding your content knowledge about health generally, making sure that you are looking at your students as students who need to have balanced health, and then finally integrating health into your classroom where it's appropriate. And we'll talk about that as we move into Module 3. So I'm still providing feedback on 2.4 and also in the wrap-up and self-evaluation. But I was able to read 2.1, 2.2, 2.3 all this morning. So I'm still going to be settling in on 2.4 and your wrap-up. But always take a look at your grade book at the start of a new module. Make sure that everything looks accurate, everything was submitted, and then contact me with any questions that you have. So as we head into Module 3, it's very important that you loop back to your 2.4 post and you make sure that it was approved for you to move on to 3.1. So 2.4, 3.1, and then later on in Module 4, 4.1, those are all building up to your lesson plan, which is the major assignment in the course and worth the most points. It's weighted the heaviest in the course as well. So once your 2.4 alignments are approved, you can move into the 3.1 assignment. The 3.1 assignment is going to be writing learning objectives for your lessons. You're only going to write one lesson for the class, and you're going to just begin that lesson this week as you start to write your learning objective. So your objective is going to include both your content standard and the health standard. Some people write them as 2 objectives, some people write them together as 1 objective. So there are different steps for writing objectives. If you've been in the program for a while and you're comfortable writing objectives, these steps may not be new to you. If you are new to writing objectives, you definitely want to go through step 1, step 2, step 3, so on and so forth. Everybody is going to read your objectives that you post, and they're going to see if they're SMART objectives. And you can kind of read through those as you post. But here are some samples of the full assignment. So you're going to actually document your step 1, your step 2, your step 3, your step 4. And so I have a second grade sample and a 4th grade sample. If you want a secondary sample, you can go ahead and email it to me and ask for that, and I can pull that from another class. But the process is going to be the same. So you're just going to document how you got to your learning objectives. And then once again, I'm going to approve those learning objectives before you move on to 4.1. If you write a learning objectives that is clear and just really focused, then it actually helps you really create your lesson. It's kind of the blueprint for your lesson. So it's really important that that learning objective is clear and it's related to both of your standards or all three of your standards. Some people will use 3 standards as they integrate either listening and speaking standards or writing standards. There are supporting documents here for your 3.1, the taxonomy. So it has depth of knowledge, it has Bloom's taxonomy, a couple of different taxonomies that will help you. So again, move into the 3.1 once your 2.4 is approved. And I approve the 2.4s right in the forum, so head back to that forum and see if I've replied. If I have not replied by, say, Wednesday at noon, please let me know. I'm going to try to get all of Module 2 submitted and back to you by Wednesday at noon. All right, so the next assignment after the 3.1, writing your learning objectives, is going to be similar to the previous chapters. You're going to take a look at Chapter 7, really quickly read through those goals. Remember, you're not reading every goal. You're just going to scan the goals and say which one applies to my students right now, which one would be the most beneficial for them. And then you're going to go ahead and add to the wiki by adding to the box right down there. Okay? So again, you only need to read the one goal that you zone in on. You're not reading all 10 goals, just like the previous wikis. The wikis are looking really strong, and the wikis serve both as a way to expand your understanding and content knowledge of health, but then also to begin to think about what are my students' needs, and will any of these needs feed into my lesson plan? After taking a look at growth and development, you're going to go ahead and take a look at the 3.2 glossary. I have not yet posted my sample, but I will go in shortly after this video and post the sample. I'm going to write a sticky note to myself right now. And what you're going to focus on are the actual learning styles of your students. So you're going to look at what is a resource that will help you develop their learning style. So it's really important that you see this part in bold here. In previous assignments, they said, well, I'm going to do a visual activity, versus actually having the students analyze, evaluate, acknowledge, stretch, or reflect on their personal learning styles. So the resource should be intentional and about teaching learning styles to the students. So not just that you're using a visual lesson or a kinesthetic lesson, but how are you having your students discuss their own personal learning styles. Then you'll move into nutrition and doing the wiki on nutrition with choosing between the 10 goals provided. And then you're going to go ahead and do a nutrition educational plan or nutrition education plan. So oftentimes nutrition is something that we overlook just because we think, oh, well, they'll get it from the health teacher or they'll maybe get it from their family, but it's so critical because so many chronic diseases are directly related to our diet. And so for this assignment, you can actually work in pairs if you want to. It can be somebody who you know who's in this class, or it can even be someone who is in the other section. So I have 2 sections of health. So if you know anyone, you can go ahead and work with a pair on it, or you can go ahead and do it by yourself. So there's a little bit of reflecting, and you are going to post this reflection in the forum below. You're going to review some resources, and then you're going to go ahead and create an action plan template. So what I'm asking is how would you incorporate nutrition standards either in your class, at your grade level, or at your school site? Okay, and you're really flexible on what you do, how you would do that. But essentially you're creating a plan that you're not going to implement, but in the future I hope that you are able to implement. So let me know if you have any questions on that 3.3 nutrition education plan. All right. After that, you'll head into Chapter 9, which is your personal health and safety. And on 3.4, you'll do the same in the wiki for Chapter 9. And then on 3.4, you have your choice of 3 different articles: Taking Charge of School Wellness, Why We Should Not Cut PE, and Sleep, the Easy Intervention. We're going to go ahead and do a QQTP, which is a quotation, a question, and talking points. And there's a sample here. So very interesting for all of these topics, but there's going to be a lot of more health items I'm going to send out that have been in the news lately. So here's a in the news, just a recent lawsuit that I believe was for, let's see, was it for Clovis schools here in California, or was it down in Visalia? Los Angeles. So there are lots of different lawsuits and different things all related to health, and it's interesting to see how your school might be impacted by those lawsuits and laws in the future. All right, so you're going to wrap up the module similar to both Module 1 and Module 2. You're going to go ahead and do the wrap-up and self-evaluation, and then the quick survey. If you have any questions about the hours or the wrap-up or self-evaluation, please let me know. So I think that's it for Module 3. We do have a optional virtual meeting on the 5th. If you just log in during that time period, I'll be in online live and you can answer any questions. So just want to encourage you as you head into this third module, you are 40% of the way done with the course already. So by the time that you watch this, it might even be almost halfway done. If you have any questions on Module 3, please let me know. Remember that every teacher is a health teacher, whether they choose to be or not, by what they model, how they act, and what they incorporate in their classroom. I'm looking forward to reading the rest of your Module 2 assignments, and if you have any questions, please let me know. Have a great week and enjoy the slightly cooler weather. All right, bye-bye.